All right, let's take a trip to Jerry's world where the team is searching for their new head coach. Our own Todd Archer reporting that the team has met for hours with their current offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer. Ryan Clark, you're up first. Would you be surprised if Schottenheimer is the new head coach for the Dallas Cowboys?
I'd be disappointed.
Okay.
Thank you.
What are we doing? Has Jerry given up? Has Jerry Jones just gotten to the point where he's resigned that mediocrity is okay as long as I can have my way? As long as people around me understand that this is my show and you won't push back and you'll let me make any decision that I want and everybody can be in there like zoo animals in little jars and in little cages, and as long as you're happy with this, I'm okay with not winning? Did you look at this offense and say to yourself it was innovative? Did you look at this offense and say to yourself that it was creative? Are other people clamoring and knocking down your door to get this dude out of your building? I ain't heard his name. Cam, you heard his name somewhere else?
I don't even know, buddy.
So why?
We haven't talked about him all season,
So
to be honest with
why,
you.
Jerry Jones, are you reaching down into the dark hallways of AT&T Stadium in a Star to bring this dude up?
But
Stephen A., I don't care what happens. They hire this dude, don't talk about him on the show.
sorry.
Erase him from the show.
Stephen A., before you jump in, can I say one thing really quickly? We do this show together every single day, right? Stephen A. and I, year-round. We talk about the Cowboys quite a bit. Not one time this year have we ever mentioned Brian Schottenheimer.
Because he don't call plays, Molly.
Ever.
Yeah.
Totally
Ever.
true. He doesn't
Go
call
ahead,
plays.
Stephen A.
Let me say this to you. On one hand, I get your point, RC, because there's no reason for you and others to talk about the Cowboys. For me to have ammunition to laugh at them, I mean, this is right in my wheelhouse. I mean, they're giving it to me. This is Christmas arriving early if they do this. I mean, you're just giving it to me right there, right on a silver platter, because we know more of the same is going to occur.
Yes.
We're not casting, and if you're Brian Schottenheimer, let's be clear. We're not casting aspersions on you, acting like you don't know football or whatever the case may be. Nobody's insulting you. What we're talking about is the climate and the environment, Brian Schottenheimer. We're talking about the fact that you weren't even calling plays. Now, Kellen Moore was, and what did Jerry let Mike McCarthy do? Get rid of Kellen Moore, okay? And so then he calls plays. And then you going to go from that to primetime Deion Sanders being a candidate? To hiring somebody you wouldn't even allow to call plays for you? You've given the Dallas faithful no source of inspiration whatsoever. I almost can't believe it's on the verge of happening. It is a complete blah hire. And if Jerry Jones does this, it really, really, really cements what so many people suspect, that he wants it to be more about him than about winning, because nobody is going to believe that Brian Schottenheimer is going to propel you to heights that Mike McCarthy and everybody else could not do. Nobody's going to believe that.
When I heard this report, surprised? I expect this hire because it goes to everything we know Jerry Jones to be. He wants a puppet to be in place so he can control. When the question came, hey, it could potentially be Prime, the same question existed. Could Jerry Jones allow another star to shine brighter than him? And there's never been a situation, even going back to Coach Johnson, when he challenged Jerry Jones the most out of any coach in his since inception, that you say, and you see how he got Control-Alt-Deleted out of that situation. Now you ask yourself, who is this guy? And what is he going to do any different? Nothing. But they all have something in common. They have to relinquish control to allow Jerry Jones to have the final say-so.
All right. Let me keep it rolling here, guys. Speaking of disorganized situations, there's an all-timer going down in Jacksonville, and I need you to break it down for me. So Adam Schefter reporting that former Bucs offensive coordinator Liam Coen informed the team that he will be leaving to take the head coaching position for the Jags. Here's how we got here. So last week, Coen completed his first interview with the Jags, and on Wednesday, he pulled himself from consideration for the Jags job and agreed to a contract extension with the Bucs that would have made him the NFL's highest-paid coordinator. Later that day, Coen changed his mind after Jacksonville reached out to ask him to reconsider after they parted ways with general manager Trent Baalke yesterday. Coen traveled to Jacksonville and accepted the Jags job. So a lot to unpack. Stephen A., do you want to take it first, or do you want to give it to RC?
Give it to RC.
RC?
So this is the reason Trent Baalke was fired, though, because in Jacksonville, they were looking at some of these people they wanted to hire, from the Ben Johnsons, the Liam Coens, and they were getting the same response. Yes, I want to be here. I like the job. I love Trevor Lawrence. I believe this is a place I can thrive, but I don't like the guy making decisions on the roster. And so eventually they get to the point to where they realize, okay, we aren't going to get a big-time coaching candidate unless we do something at the general manager position. So they make that move, and now you have to start to sweeten the pot for Liam Coen. You have to start to give him things and put other stuff in this contract that makes him feel like, okay, now I have more control. Now I know what I can do and how the input I can have on the roster. I know what I can do and have the input on the organization. We just built a new facility. And so now all of these things are happening, and Liam Coen is like, okay, this is going the way I want, but I've already said that I'm not taking this job. So now he has to throw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers off the smoke screen so he can go get this deal done. And that part of it is what it is. But for the Jacksonville Jaguars, this is a win. Yeah. You had a guy who didn't want to be a part of your organization, made changes in order to get him, and now you were able to do so.
Yeah, this is what people must understand. Hey, football is no different than corporate, ladies and gentlemen. It's simple. If Stephen A., if Molly, if Cam, if RC walked into a studio and it was like, who's going to all be there? Yep. It's all. We all get that text going to the party. Hey, who all there?
First off, if I say who there, I ain't coming nowhere.
I ain't coming, guys. I'm going to be like, who there? Oh, RC there? All right, I'll pull up. I'll think about it more. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference. That's no different than in corporate or in any type of job situation. You go there, you say, yeah, I think I'm good on this one. And the famous words that was said to me from the late, great Jerry Richardson. He said, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive.
Amen.
He went into the situation and observed the whole Jaguars organization and was like, I could take this job, but I'm not going to be wholeheartedly happy. Now you get rid of that potential cancer. It's like, okay, I'm back, y'all. Now, understanding that whole situation is no different than any other job situation, and that's what we have to understand.
Listen, normally we don't like to see stuff like this. I have no problem with it whatsoever because I thought Baalke needed to be fired without the incentive of getting Liam Coen as to be your head coach. As far as I'm concerned, it's been a mess in Jacksonville. They haven't achieved a lot of success. Them and the New York Giants have been pretty bad the last decade plus, and we all need to know that. Having said all of that, I think that they made the right move with him, but I think it speaks, and what I like about what it speaks to, fellas, is that we're looking at executives making these decisions and they're holding them accountable.
Yeah.
What the hell has been going on in Jacksonville? Listen, I'm not pleased with the job that Doug Peterson did. I think it was a bad job at the end of the day. And I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence, and he's not what I thought he was going to be. And that's something that we have to question. But how the hell do we do all of that and look collectively at the Jacksonville Jaguars and don't look at the GM? And so remember, if it wasn't for Liam Coen, basically saying, I'm going to go back to Tampa, Baalke might still be there. Mm-hmm. Well, how'd that happen? What the hell is going on, Shad Khan, that you can't see that this man needed to be out the door even before you thought about hiring Liam Coen? Because he should have went right out the door with Peterson. You could clearly see there needs to be wholesale changes. So we might not like it, but I think the attention that's being brought to bear down upon executives, especially in a sport like football that has so many tentacles, that has so much, it's so complicated, there's so many things to do. You got to have the right person at the top making good decisions. You can't be keeping them on board and selling to the public that you're moving in a forward direction when their behinds are still there. Nah, I support what they're doing.
Stephen A., but this, to me, this goes back to your point about Antonio Pierce. And you spoke about Antonio Pierce and you said you're supposed to kind of sit on the sideline and be grateful for the job. Liam Coen was like, I ain't finna be grateful for the job. I'll go back to Tampa Bay, I'll get big bank, and I'll wait for my next chance. You guys just spoke to Ben Johnson, the same with him. People have been trying to lure him away from Detroit for the last 2 years, and he didn't want to do that. And this goes down to satisfiers and optimizers. See, there are those people who are like, hey, if I got 80% of it or 85% of it and it feels good to me, then I'm comfortable with that. And then there are the other people who see how quickly people move on from head coaches, how quickly coaches get fired and now have to go back to being coordinators and position coaches. They said, if I take that chance, if I move up and do this job, it's going to have everything I want and everything I feel I need to be successful. And so Liam Coen said, if I can't optimize this job, if I don't feel this job gives me my full potential to win, I'll stay in Tampa Bay where it's the person and the place I know most.
Well, the bottom line is this. Do you want the bag or do you want to win so you'll get the bag? Winners want to win so they'll get the bag.
Yep.
People that don't have that level of confidence just want to grab the bag because they don't believe that they'll ever have that opportunity to get that bag again. I ain't talking to nobody that got that kind of mentality on this set right now. We know who the hell we are. We about winning.
I said to this to bring another perspective is maybe people are seeing what Jaden Daniels is doing and realizing like, yo, Trevor Lawrence, it's time to win yesterday. Mm-hmm. We need somebody that's going to develop this guy because one of the biggest fears that the fans around Charlotte would always say, we do not want to waste Cam's good years. Trevor Lawrence is a game changer that's playing like just a regular dude.
Not even a game manager.
Bro,
playing bad football.
Just the guy, like, dude, what are you doing? A jag for a jag. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense.
Yeah.
Go on, Molly. But when you look at talent and what he's capable of, there's no reason why Trevor Lawrence isn't continuously in the debate of who's the best quarterback, not only in this division, but in this conference and inevitably in the whole league.
Absolutely. All right.